Welcome to It's the Economy. Godrej Consumer kind of scared investors when it announced to the exchange that its sales growth in Q3 as of mid-quarter was flat. Volume was flat. Separately, market research company Bizom shows that consumption of non-durables, like soups, personal products, packaged foods, fell by 4.8% in November, although it rose by 4.3% in October. Now, the key reason for falling consumption may well be inflation, food inflation in particular, which has remained between 8 and 11%, as you can see in this chart, for the past 18 months, that is since July 2023. To understand whether consumption is really falling or at least static, is it a temporary slowdown, and what are the urban-rural features of this consumption, the premiumization features, I have with me Jayen Mehta, the Managing Director of Amul, or Gujarat Milk Marketing Federation, and Vishesh Dora, the Chief Growth Officer at Bizom. Mr. Mehta and Vishesh, thank you very much indeed for sparing time for me. Mr. Mehta, to you first. I don't think anybody will understand consumption as well as Amul. You have a national spread. Tell us, has Q2 was slow according to the results. Is Q3 also slow in consumption?
Good morning and pleasure meeting you, Latha ji. This year so far has been very good, and we are looking at double-digit growth and more. The current Q3 is also the best ever in our history so far. We had a very good October and we had a very good November, and all looking at high double-digit growth. This season was good specifically because of the festive season, Diwali, New Year, and all falling in the same space. Lot of marriages, uptick in the rural demand, and so we've no reason to complain. This is the best possible quarter in our history so far of the last 50 years.
Okay. Well, Mr. Mehta, when you look at the inflation numbers, I'm just looking at the CPI numbers which the government releases, the prices of milk have gone up by about 3% annually. It was a much higher base, of course, a year ago, but it is still higher from those levels. And overall food inflation is also higher. So do you see, more premium products consumed, but less demand for plain vanilla milk? Anything you can give in terms of value add or premium?
As you rightly mentioned, dairy is not contributing to inflation, at least this year, because we've been in the headlines for the same reason a couple of years back. But let's face it very clearly. Inflation to consumers is income to producers. So if you want to compensate the farmers for the inflation, which otherwise urban consumers also feel, there has to be a reasonable price increase. And the RBI governor also said they're happy with 5-6% kind of an inflation. Fortunately, dairy is below that line. But more importantly, consumption of dairy products and value-added products. In our case, pouch milk is also a value-added product because a consumer or a housewife takes a very conscious decision to shift from loose to package. So this demand has been increasing. Packaged dairy products, people want safe, healthy stuff, and they don't want to waste the money on things which they're not sure about the quality. So this is one big tailwind for us, which is helping us grow the market and demand both in urban areas as well as rural areas. And we are fortunate that if the economy grows, the dairy segment grows slightly more than that. So we are very confident that this is a market which is a growing market. The kind of portfolio that we have, the price points that we have, and straddling from both mass market to premium segments with products like ice creams to beverages to ghee, which is the most expensive food item which every household consumes, to the butter and cheese, which have good demand both at household level, at Horeca level, institutional level, out-of-home consumptions. And obviously good for both modern trade, for e-com, for Q-com, and also direct to consumer, apart from the GT
Mr. Mehta,
always do.
No, Mr. Mehta, is there a difference between mass consumption products and premium products, the rate of growth?
See, Amul is perceived as a value for money brand. So even our most expensive products are also perceived to be value for money, and they would be accepted by the masses as much as the premium end of the society.
No, I'm not saying anything is not accepted. No, Mr. Mehta, please, if you can give me some numbers, not just adjectives. What is the growth of mass consumption products? What is the growth of so-called premium products? There would be a difference between ice cream and milk.
Yeah. So ice cream is also double digit. Fresh milk is in mid-single digits at the moment. But the volumes and value base is much different in this case. So fresh milk operates across the country as much as ice creams. And we do invest into expansion of these particular categories, anticipating growth segment as we talked earlier. So, again, the same product in milk also, Amul Gold or Buffalo milk will be the premium segment, Amul Taza or Slim and Trim will be at the lower segment. But the consumption of all the product categories, to my mind, and the numbers that we have is pretty uniform and growing at a very rapid pace. And that's why, as an organization, if we're growing at 15-20% this quarter over the previous quarter, everything has to work together. It is not just one segment can pull the whole market and take the brand to a different level.
No, Mr. Mehta, you're not getting what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to ask you if you can give me clear numbers for... I'll just come back to you. Let me get to Vishesh. And what I want are clear numbers on what is the growth of the mass milk product, then the Amul Gold, and then probably ice cream and sweets. The rate of growth of each category. Vishesh, similar question to you. You gave us your November data, which looks less cheerful than the October data. Is consumption in some categories falling or under pressure?
So we're coming on back of a Diwali season, which in itself means that stocking in the market is going to slightly slow down. When we talk about what's happening in terms of categories, yes, there is a seasonal plus festive impact. So categories that are largely impacted are the ones which go off season because of winters, right? So things like, when you spoke about ice cream, stocking of ice cream is definitely reducing because of the onset of winters. If I talk about home care, that's another category which is impacted in the current month.
No, can you come again? So when you see your dairy is showing a minus 12% in November, would that largely be ice creams?
That is ice cream and ghee. So if you look at October, right? So we're coming on back of a strong September of festive October. That means stocking in at the retail point has been high, which is definitely showing in November numbers where stocking is falling. And this is largely a factor of ghee and ice cream what we look at. The other subcategories in dairy continue to grow.
Okay, no, but your numbers are not November over October, right? It is November over last year's November. And October is over last year's October. So November over November, you have a minus 11.7 for dairy, minus 6% for home care, minus 5.8 for packaged foods, and minus 8% for personal care. The others are doing well. Beverages, chocolates, commodities have done well, but these four have shown a minus of 6 to 8%. Are all these like under pressure only in November?
I mean, so like I said, right, we're following the stocking data. So yes, pressure is there in November, right? Again, just bringing out the fact that when we look at November's number compared to last year November, last year Diwali was in November. This year it was in October. So you will definitely see that difference. But if you look at October and November in one go, it's pretty flat right now.
Okay. Well, yeah, last year I think Diwali was November 12th and this time it was November 1st. So yeah, that much of 12 days of difference was definitely there. But I didn't expect it to hit personal care and home care. Yeah, it can hit dairy products because people would consume more sweets. Mr. Jayen Mehta, now if I can repeat the question to you. If you can give me some number for the ekdam mass consumption item, plain vanilla milk, toned milk or whatever it is, low fat, and for the more expensive products, what is the growth if you can give some numbers?
With the fresh milk business, again, volumes are equally split between the mass and the lower priced milk also. And the full cream milk and the buffalo milk segment has been growing at a slightly faster rate than the average milk that we have. But again, it's a function of geographical distribution. But year on year, month on month, there has been a growth across all the segments. The second is the retail part, in which we mentioned Diwali versus Diwali. We track the performance of the top 200 stores in every single city that we operate. So November on November in Mumbai, my number of products and lines sold in these top 200 indicative outlets that we measure in terms of both sales turnover and volume, they increased by almost 50% year on year. Number of the turnover increased by about 29%. So while it is a market will respond differently over festive periods, depending upon the time of the year. But if the focus on distribution is there, then you can grow the market is what is the test case I want to present here. Having
Got
said
that.
that, ice creams continue to grow at more than 22%. Beverages also in these, which is typically, we didn't have a short summer actually this year, October, November. Still, we had 22% growth in beverages segment also. The rural distribution also has been growing at a much faster rate. Thanks to increase in number of distributor base, more deeper coverage. We added more than 600 distributors in last year. And this is also helping us grow. So 1/3 of the total business of Amul comes from town class, which is less than 50,000. And here, there also, we are seeing the growth in every single category that we operate.
Okay, Mr. Mehta, a very quick answer and a short one. Are you saying you're getting a lot of market because people are moving from, say, unbranded to packaged products?
Yes.
That's the source of your growth.
That's where the brand proposition comes in and the consumer's perception to buy good quality products and Amul is value for money. So that's one big tailwind for this category that we operate in. And that is what is the pivot for all.
Yeah, I got that. I want the last word from Vishesh. Vishesh, if you have to look at the full year, Q2, we saw a lot of companies complaining about, lower volume growth. It was across the board, especially for FMCG. Everyone, Hindustan Unilever, Godrej and the Marico's, Daburs, everyone complained. Is Q3 better than Q2?
I mean, currently it looks flat, but I truly believe December is going to be better, right? Especially when we talk about things like a commodity and a dairy, these continue to grow, backed on, of course, the inflation price, right? But yes, if I look at October and November this year, we are pretty flat. With the end of the quarter coming in, I'm sure the numbers are going to look much better.
Okay. All right. We will invite both of you at the end of the quarter or after the quarter is done to check whether things are better off in Q3. Thank you very much, Mr. Mehta and Vishesh, for joining us in this conversation. The key takeaway from Amul especially is that there is no dulling of consumption. In fact, people are moving towards branded items from unbranded. But Vishesh's Bizom data seems to indicate that there has been a dip in consumption in the month of November, which could be seasonal, but we will have to wait and see. Wrap up on Bazaar on that note. Chartbusters coming up.